Okay. Do you want me to start with a little prayer?
Yeah.
We'll start a grace, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Loving God, we ask you to be with us tonight as we fellowship together. We ask you to bless the food, the hands that will make it. We ask that you let it feed our souls in this time apart and inspire us in new ways as we live as your body in community. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Why don't you introduce yourself and what we're doing tonight?
Okay, so my name is Angie Lee, District Superintendent of Iroquois River District, and I have been ministry in the United Methodist Church since 2001 when I was a student at Dayton, Ohio.
And you've got food for us tonight, so why don't you share with us what you're making?
Yes, I have a bulgogi today, and I'm also making egg rolls, but it's a very simple egg roll, Korean style. It's like a scrambled egg, or I guess omelette in Korean style, very simple. And the bulgogi is my main dish, and I'm gonna bring my beef from my refrigerator. And so the main ingredient for bulgogi is the beef, and then it will be marinated with soy sauce and sugar. So soy sauce and sugar are the main ingredient for the marination. And then we will have some cooking wine, and we have some garlic. And I forgot, or I did not know it. We ran out of black pepper, but just of a black pepper will be helpful. And then I usually put sesame oil, but you don't have to if you do not like the smell of the sesame oil. And for the soy sauce, I buy usually from the Korean grocery than Walmart because it's less sodium. It has less sodium in it, I think. And then for the cooking wine, you can buy all different kind, but I also buy this kind for from the Korean grocery. I learned the Korean food goes with the things from the Korean grocery than Walmart, but you can try from Walmart or any kind of grocery. And so, can I start? Okay, so let me see if I can start from so I just have one big bowl and then we will all put together. And so I'm gonna put sauce first. So soy sauce, I put four tablespoons, and then I'm gonna pour sugar, same amount, 4 tablespoons. And I have 2 tablespoons of cooking wine. And then I have garlic. I chopped minced garlic a little bit, very small piece already. And then I put them in there. And then you do not want to put sesame oil now. You have to put in the last, because the sesame oil will make a coat over the beef. So that will prevent from being marinated. And so put the sauce, everything in here. Very simple. When I cook, I like a simple cook, If it's anything complicated, that will be yummy, but don't have time to do that. And so beef, oopsies. And I want to show you this beef. You can buy kind of any kind of beef, but sliced very thin. I think that is the key. The meat has to be very thin. It doesn't have to, but when meat is thin, it's yummier. And then just to marinate all together.
Now, while you're mixing that up, I might start asking you some of the more personal questions.
Sure.
Can you tell us what is special about this dish for you?
Yeah, so this is the bulgogi, and the main ingredient is beef, as we shared. And in history, or back in like old days when I was a child, beef was expensive. And so when we make this bulgogi, that means it's a very special day, or you have a very special guest. And so I remember when Estee visit us when we were dating, my mom always make a bulgogi for us. And when I have a birthday, she always make a bulgogi. But now it's probably not that special because now beef is not that expensive anymore. But with the emotion and food and culture, I think it's kind of special meaning still, So when I have a guest, bulgogi is the best. And many Americans like bulgogi. So when I have our church members over home, then I cook bulgogi. Never fail. Everybody loves it. Yeah. And now I'm going to put sesame oil, just 1 tablespoon or whatever, the way you want it to have. And then for the good result, for better taste, I'm going to put this in a small bowl and then usually take like a 20-minute marinade or overnight. And if you're busy, you can even freeze and then use whenever you can use. So I'm going to put in the refrigerator and I will eat this tomorrow, but I will cook for today that I made yesterday for today's cooking class. Yeah, so ta-da! This is the one that I made already. And now I'm going to...
Your chef skills. I'm always impressed with your presentation is very Food Network. So lucky to have you.
Thank you. And now can I introduce you the egg rolls? It's really simple. And so I put 3 eggs. And it's a very same with omelette, I think. But simpler, but it goes with rice. So, main food for Korean is rice. They eat rice every single meal. So 3 times a day, if you wanted to. But now many Koreans are Americanized. So now they eat like bread in the morning and many other things. And noodles is one of the big things too. But basically, rice every at least 1 time a day. Yeah, so this is the eggs. And then I chopped, you can put green onion in it, but I'm going to cook separately and I will show you. For the color, the green onion is the main ingredient for the egg, but I put some carrots. So you have green and red. Yeah. And then now I'm going to start cooking. And so, and also egg roll is a very simple meal, but that's very special for your lunch box. We used to cook, mothers pack lunch. We used, how can I say, school did not have lunch for you. Your mom has to prepare for your lunch when I was kid. Now, school provided. But when I was a kid, the mothers prepared for their children's lunch. And egg roll was like a very simple but fancy. So that means, oh, your mom worked hard this morning. Fried egg will be simpler. And so now I'm going to put some oil and then I will move my camera. And so some oil for bulgogi and then some oil for egg roll.
Now, did you grow up cooking, Angie? Was cooking or something you enjoyed when you were young?
Not necessarily. I rather have food that somebody else cook for me. But yeah, that's what we have to,
Right.
I enjoy once in a while when my kids come over and guests come over. It's a big event, but daily life, not so much. It's more mandatory, I think, because I don't want to eat out and I believe healthy food is very important. And now in the other pan, I'm going to put carrot first. And then I'm going to put egg roll. Not egg roll, the green onion to make egg roll. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to cover my meat.
I sure wish I could smell it right now.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna put some egg over it. And I will show you how it looked like. So this will be like exactly look like an omelette, right, Pastor Kara?
It does. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
And
why
then I will.
eggs always scare me in cooking. I don't know what I do wrong, but
Is it really?
and yet they do. That does seem like a very easy to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
And this is my first time to do put carrots and green onion separately. Yeah. And then I'm gonna check my meat.
That's a great shot from here, so we can see both dishes cooking.
Mm-hmm. And do you see the small pot over there?
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, that's like a soup. It's sort of a leftover soup. And so today I'm going to show you how they prepare the traditional, like a typical dinner. So bulgogi will be very special, but in typical day, they will have some soup and then very simple, like a hot dish. And then they have some small dishes go with rice. And so while I am waiting for my beef cook, I'm going to show you my small other dishes. Like I said, I can't be very complicated, very simple. And so that I bought from the store, that's a kimchi. Some people really do not like it. Some people really do. And then I have a small fish, dried fish, anchovy. I think that's the name of it in English. And then I always like avocado with meat. So I have some avocado. And this is seaweed, but it's not really weed, but they call seaweed. But this is like, you know, when you eat rolls at a Japanese restaurant,
Yeah.
there is like a seaweed wrap with roll.
Is that called nori?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have that right?
Right, exactly. I think
Okay,
so.
okay.
Yeah, in Japanese name. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Now, what is kimchi exactly?
Kimchi is the main ingredient will be cabbage or radish.
Okay.
And then you put salt and pepper.
Okay.
But you have to do, is it marinate first, I guess? Like put salt first, and then the water come out from the radish, and then you rinse out, and then put garlic and red pepper and some fish sauce. But you can omit if you don't want to, you know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then and you can put more ingredients, but basically that's the basic ingredient.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like every culture has its sour cabbage recipe, right?
Exactly.
My dad grew
You
up
can
with
eat
sauerkraut, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you see
Yeah.
the commonality.
Exactly. I'm gonna check my soup.
Okay.
And I am thinking if I can do egg. Can you see egg from there?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I'll be able to zoom in when I do some editing. So
Okay.
this is a good shot, a good angle.
Yeah. And somehow I am not really good with anything doing with the hand. My husband is much better. So anything make it pretty, I really can't do that.
Well, like I said, eggs are tough. Flipping eggs is not easy. Like, and pancakes are always tough. That first one always looks a little funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pancake, I really can't do pancake.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then if you see this small pot,
Mm-hmm.
that's a special pot. That
beautiful.
Yeah, it's very hot. Like a temperature wise.
Okay.
And so soup can stay hot in there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the function.
Is it an iron? Is it like a steel or is it a terracotta?
terracotta, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are
Mhm.
really good. People forget how
Mhm.
much heat you can transfer with your flower pots.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, that looks yummy. We have to
Are you
stop
hungry?
scheduling these
Are you
before
hungry?
I am, and I didn't eat. We have to stop scheduling these before I eat.
Oh, I wish you're here. Yeah.
Soon we'll be able to eat soon. I hear we're bridging up and praying every day for our communal communion, because I miss food. I miss food with friends.
Exactly. Yeah. So can you see the meat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is meat is like a 2/3 of the way, and I usually put the lid on, which is not really good for taste wise, but minimize all the evaporating everything.
Right.
And then I let this water go.
Okay.
So
yeah, looks yummy. So you make this still on special days? Your mom still makes it? This is still part of it?
Yeah. Whenever we have a guest, then mom will cook bulgogi for us.
Now, for those of us that maybe not brave enough to try the Asian market, what advice would you give us if we wanted to go in? I mean, we shouldn't be afraid of going in and supporting our local businesses, right? These are people in our community that sell product that we just have minimal exposure to. But for those of us like me going in, should we just go up and ask somebody for help when we go in, or because you showed a couple products that you thought might be better from it.
Yeah, I mean, I go to Green Onion, located on Mill Street, and owned by, I think they have a Chinese owner now.
Okay.
So, and yeah, you can ask.
Yeah.
What is the best for whatever, what is the best for soy sauce? Or I usually ask what is most popular.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. And then when I cook bulgogi, it's optional, but I put some vegetables, and I put green onion, carrot, and onion for more color. My son does not like that. I mean, he's a meat lover, so
meat and potatoes.
Exactly.
Protein and starch, I guess, that would be rice if you're in some parts of the world, and potatoes if you're in others, and like you said,
exactly,
in this part of the world. So, are there products you have trouble finding, or can you pretty much find everything you need at the Asian market?
At Green Onion, I can find almost everything I need because, my cooking style is very simple. I don't need a complicated style. But one thing that I am frustrated is living in rural area, everything is not really fresh. Yeah, not that speaking of badly of Green Onion, it's all good, but just, the product comes from Chicago. And so whenever I go to Chicago, I envy H Mart. They have everything and so fresh and looks so nice. But here, small grocery store. But when we were in small town, I have to drive like 1 hour or even one and a half hour just to go to Korean grocery to buy rice. Yeah, so that was a
difference, right? I mean, there's a real difference
Mm-hmm.
in what you can get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rice is
Yeah,
tricky for me. I don't cook it well, so.
Yeah, I use a high pressure cooker.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Good advice.
Yeah. This is egg roll that I cook, and so become long and round, and then you chop like square-ish.
Nice, and you have little finger food.
Mm-hmm. And then put in the dish. It's kind of not real pretty, but SJ would not mind.
Right, it's filling. No, eggs are good protein and accessible. Like you said, sometimes food, between where we live and sometimes the price of things, food is one of these things that can be a privilege. It's one of these things
Oh yeah.
we take for granted sometimes. The effort that goes into making food at the production, the farm level, all the way up. So, no, I think this is a perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna show you how I display.
Okay.
The meat is done. And so if I have I have time, first I have to start to cook. If I have time and then some kind of not really, really special, but some sort of special, then this will be a meal that I prepare for family or a friend. And so I have a main dish, bulgogi, which is a very special meaning to everyone in Korea. And then the other dish that I prepare, and we usually put all these small things separately. We usually do not put in all one big plate, in a small plate, and we call them as a banchan. I'm not sure if you have heard about or not. So the reason that I like to go to Korean restaurant is they have so many banchan, so many small dish, so many different kinds that sometimes it's very hard to make it at home. So anyhow, this will be my banchan today. And then this hot, in China, I think they call hot pot. And so something very hot, temperature-wise. One thing that I learned from the United States is the food is lukewarm. They do not like very hot. It's kind of dangerous, but I think Asian people like hot, more warm and hot. Exactly. And then if you can see, it's still boiling.
It's a little, the camera's just a tiny bit high.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at it boil.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the special part of the pot. Okay. And then we use chopstick and the spoon.
Okay.
Long and lean, and then put on your right side if you are right-handed person. And then put a bowl of rice. This is kind of a bowl of rice that average person will eat 2/3. But my family eat this whole thing. Sometimes even more. And so go to bowl of rice and hot pot and chopstick. And can you see it?
Yeah.
And then like a small banchan. I'm gonna put small banchan all over and main dish here. And then I will just put seed with and try to have like all different color, red and blue or purple.
Can you bring kind of the phone down and oh, there we go. Because I'm losing the avocado. There we go. Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
It's a very simple meal. It does not take long.
But
if
very
you will,
healthy. I mean, that's mostly vegetable and protein, all from scratch. And what we've been on this call, 20 minutes, and you're all done with basically 3 courses there. So
yeah, there is some prep work, but bulgogi, if you go to Korean market, Green Onion or H Mart in Chicago, they already have like a pre-made one for you, like a marinated bulgogi.
Oh, nice. Okay. Mm-hmm. Put your work even.
Yeah.
So wonderful. All right. Well, I can't thank you enough for spending this time with us and introducing us to your food. Are there any parting thoughts in terms of, food and culture heritage that you would like us to I don't know, be fed on through this meal experience?
I mean, to me, food is always important, and I think that's to everyone, not just to me. And it has a meaning and culture. And so, nowadays, people think of food as like become fat and heavy, and we are overeating and some sort of guilt trip when we eat. I hope we don't do that. I hope when we come to the table, we appreciate and eat with joy and gratitude and have a right relationship with the food. Because the food is, no matter what culture you're living in, food is a part of your culture and your identity. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for sharing time and table with us and inviting us into your home. yeah, I guess that's all I've got. If you're all set, then this should be great. I'll wrap it up and send you a link to look at. So
Yeah, thank you, Pastor Kara, for giving me opportunity.
God bless you. No, I think this is wonderful.